Hello, fellow carbon steel cooking ware lovers. um, Today I've decided to make a video. It's actually quite late. What is it? It's 10:30 p.m. I got home not long ago from some friends. We were talking, and it turned out that one of my friends, the one who was hosting this small get together, he had actually a few carbon steel pans. He was having this one in particular. It's a Mineral B DeBuyer pan, small sized. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's not too big. As you can see, it has a bit of rust, but it doesn't look too deep. So we're talking back and forth about it, and I was talking to him, and I told him that it didn't look like he had gotten off the wax completely, and he seemed unaware about the wax, so it would make sense that he didn't remove it. So I also told him that I would gladly take it home and try to season it for him, as I have a gas stove and he has a classic electric stove, which I've heard is supposed to be harder. Anyway, I like the challenge, and I like to make a video about it. So these are the ones with the I think it's called epoxy glaze on the handle, it feels soft to the touch, but it doesn't feel like rubbery, except from this part, of course. You can take this out though. And I've been reading a little bit back and forth on different forums, and it seems like that these handles should be able to withstand heat at 250 Celsius degree, which is what I'm going to use for this kind of seasoning method. So what I'm thinking is that I want to polish it, and I have a few items. I'm planning on using this to get off the rough things and the wax, and this to do the finer polishing, and also hopefully making a more, what do you call it, sandy or a bit more rough surface for the seasoning to stick to. So, well, basically I will just explain as I go. I just do want to show you the comparison between a Matfer, which is supposedly the same size. This is a Matfer, and I've been having this for a while. It still needs improvement, but it's fairly good, and I can cook eggs on it, and it doesn't stick. But for comparison, you can see that it's actually a little bit smaller, even in the bottom. And of course, the what most people know, the big difference between the handles is that it's well, both of them are bolted, but one of them the bolt has been removed, so like welded on. So, but this is the one we're gonna work with today. This is the one that doesn't need work. It's finished with the seasoning. I might do some more eventually, and it will only get better as time comes or goes, as more as I cook with it. I'm very happy about this pan. I like the angles on these. It's perfect to flip eggs and stuff. So enough talking. I will get to it. Try and use some hot water, and after that I'm gonna put it in the oven for 15 minutes to heat it up a bit. Cover it in avocado oil and put it back in the oven for an hour on 250 degrees. So now it's probably fast forward. right. Well, would you look at that? It took me about a good 20 minutes to scrub it, and now it has no more rust, and the oxidation, it oxidizes really fast, so I really want to get it in the oven as quickly as possible. So as I probably mentioned before, I will do 15 minutes first in the oven, just on 90 degrees Celsius, basically just to get it warm, so when I'm finally putting on a coat of oil, it will be much easier to apply a thin layer of coating. If this method sounds familiar to you, it is probably because I am stealing from Solid Technics Iron Care. They have their own line of pans, which seems very great. I just can't get them here in Denmark yet. Probably get one eventually. But I'm also very happy with these ones. So, in the oven, 15 minutes, 90 degrees Celsius. All right. All right. Pan has now been in the oven for 15 minutes. And it should be, well, it's a little bit warm. It's actually not that warm. We will put some very thin coating on it. Before I've actually used peanut oil, but today I'm using this one. It's avocado. It's not a fancy one, but this specifically says that it's meant for high heat, and I thought I'd try it out. The idea about heating it a bit first is to be able to put a very thin layer, because it won't create beads on the pan. So this is the first step. Okay, I can feel it through to this glove, heating glove, that there is definitely some heat on it. So by now you can probably see that I covered it completely in oil, except from the handle. What I will do now is that I will wipe as much of it off as I can before I put it back in the oven. And as I said before, the first 15 minutes now, just when I got it out, it was 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and this next time I will put it in on 250 degrees. Did I say Fahrenheit? I meant Celsius. I think I said Fahrenheit. So what I'm doing now is really trying to wipe off all the excessive oil. And when I say excessive oil, I mean excessive oil. There is a thin coating on it now, but we're talking thin. So now it goes 1 hour, 1.5 hours in the oven on 250 degrees Celsius. And I will put it upside down, and I will not have it preheated. I don't want to risk shocking the pan, meaning that if it goes from cold to a really hot oven, it can warp, and which means it won't stand steady. So right now it's only 90 degrees, which is okay. I'll put it on 250 degrees, 1.5 hours upside down. Turn off the oven, go to bed, and look at it tomorrow. Yes, this is now the next day. So this is after 1.5 hours in the oven on 250 degrees Celsius. So you see it already starts getting a blackish color, or darkish color at least. So as I mentioned earlier in this video, the reason to heat it up for just 15 minutes on 90 degrees Celsius before adding the oil is to avoid small beads of oil. So to ensure you can put on a thin layer. And you can see even doing that, you still have like tiny spots collecting. So it really shows the importance of adding a thin layer of oil. Now, this is interesting about these DeBuyer mineral bee pans. This handle, I've read in forums about the discussion about this handle, how they can withstand heat. And definitely looks like something is going on here. And I mean, did they really make a pan that can't go in the oven just to make the handle look nice? That is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard about. Anyways, it does something to the finish, but who cares? I'm on the goal. I'm trying to reach the goal of making a pan that can cook and not look pretty, because as you know, it's not all the pans that looks pretty. So anyways, now I'm gonna put 15 minutes in the oven on 90 degrees Celsius. Take it out and apply oil. Crank the oven up to 250 degrees Celsius and put it back in for 1.5 hours. All right. So this is the pan now after a number of seasoning. I lost count, to be honest, but we can see that through the video. I think actually I did one more that I didn't get on tape. So as you see, the gloss is really nice now. It has this really nice finish. And even though I put on a very thin layer, you can still see some, yeah, it's just not completely perfect, but that's fine. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do a stovetop seasoning. So I will just first heat it up so it becomes fairly warm. Now this is a small pan. I'm sorry, I have a sore throat. So I will just heat it up to medium high. Medium high on a copper steel pan when not cooking meat is in general really high. I will do that, and in my next video I will review this. This is actually a DeBuyer spatula. I bought it recently and I haven't tried it yet. I wanted to try it. I like the flexible thing here. So, but that's not gonna be in this video. But yeah, I was looking for something that was very thin in this edge, so it's easy to get under, and at the same time not too sharp, because I do want to try and take care of my seasoning. Anyways, speeding up the video and slowing it down when I'm ready to do a stovetop seasoning. Alright, so it's been heating up for some minutes, and it's burning hot right now. And be aware of this stovetop seasoning, it's gonna smoke a lot. So I'm putting on some peanut oil this time, and there's no specific explanation to this other than I've had some great luck with using peanut oil before. I'm gonna use it again, and look how it smokes. Actually, you see, this is a very warm pan, and it's already there. So the reason for the stovetop seasoning is basically that you will apply a very thin layer. I honestly think that burned up really fast. I think I should put on a little bit more the next time. So now I will just let it cool off for a few minutes and repeat the process. That was the last one, and it is dark, dark, dark. So basically what you see now is that it looks like a pan that's been cooking for a long while, and it's basically what we want it to be. That's why some people say that you can just basically start cooking with it, and that's true. It will take a while though before it works really well. But yeah, this looks nice, and I'm gonna try it in a bit. I'm gonna try it out with some fried egg just to see how it goes. So that will be another video